Hello and welcome to Ulid Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aquarius. If Aquarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so our card tonight is the Queen of Swords. And you can't really get much past her, can you? Okay, let's go ahead and look at these tea leaves, see what they have to say tonight. All right. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Okay. So first, I'm seeing all these flowers. We have a person here standing next to a potted flower. And then we have these two beautiful flowers, one here. And we have somebody who is kind of stopped and they're leaning over and they're smelling this beautiful maybe rose or tulip or whatever it is. And there's a little heart. And so I look at this and I think immediately, oh, stop and smell the roses. Take your time. Enjoy yourself. I feel like you are. I feel like this is the time of your life where you are really allowing yourself just to be in it. Just to be in that moment. Yeah, you're busy and you have a million things to do, errands and chores and work, or, TT says hello, or something akin to working within the home, community, so on. Of course you are busy. Who isn't? But I do think in this time in your life, you have really gotten to this point where it is all so apparent that no matter how much you do, no matter how quickly you do it, there's always going to be more. So you better take some time to really go and look around, enjoy yourself. Walk a little slower. Take in your surroundings. Look up at the sky once in a while. See what's going on out there in the garden, in the park. You'd be amazed at the dramas that are happening around us. I have a big troop. I don't know what they're called, but it's a big troop of squirrels that live in the yard here or around the neighborhood, and they come over to eat. And just watching their squirrel soap opera. There are two families of squirrels. They're distinctly, some of them have the white ears, the little white behind the ears. Some of them are they're darker, and you can just tell they're a different family, and they have quite a Game of Thrones battle going on over the last, I don't know, a few years that I've lived here. And angling to get, the stronghold. And so, it's amazing to slow down and look out the window and see, go outside and take your cup of tea or your coffee and sit down on the step and just take in whatever it is that you have there to look at. And you might be amazed. You might be amazed at the things that have been going on. You had no idea. So I think this is a beautiful time, a time of a lot of not just self-reflection, because I think that has been a huge theme, right, for the last few months with Aquarius. But I think that this is also a time of, there is a deep sense of growth happening, and kind of an unfurling, I would say. A renewed sense of adventure and exploration. And okay, you have to go. You have your claws right in my face here, honey. You can't hold on to my face to keep. No, don't you. No. I'll tell you what. There's my husband and Pudgy, and then there's 3 girls. There's TT, my daughter, and myself. And we're some sassy girls. TT just did a little growl. These little babies, they really they demand the world from you. She wants me to pet her, but she also wants to bite and claw me. So anyways, yeah, I do. I think that this is a time where it's like, okay, I'm re-emerging. It is kind of like a rebirth, right? There's a lot to be excited about. The constraints of what life had been like. It felt like, I think, that life was feeling pretty small at times. It was getting to be almost unbearable, I think. You know, I feel like there just a sense of getting lost in it all. Losing your sense of identity. And not in a way that felt, profoundly freeing, but in a way that was kind of very oppressive. And terribly sad at times. But I think now, circumstances have shifted, and I know we've had some tower moments in the last year or few years, but it really has been a process, right? The fallout has been a lot, a lot. But I think in this terribly difficult time, and I think this can be very true. It's not always true, but I think it is often true. And I feel like I have gathered this information from, one, I'm in recovery, so I go to a lot of like AA meetings. 2, I lost a spouse when I was younger. And I also lost my parents, and other people in my life had died. So I've been to a lot of like support groups, grief kind of counseling and support groups and things. So I've seen a lot of people. I've heard a lot of stories. I've met a lot of people. I've been blessed to get to know people and kind of fill out kind of some common threads that I've noticed. And, I think oftentimes, even when we go through the darkest night of our life, right? The dark night of the soul, which sometimes isn't only once. We might go through this more than one time in our life, but when we have gone through it, I think of this as like a tsunami in a way. When there is death, when there is, great financial loss, or kind of a tearing apart of the family, or the sense of self or career or whatever it is. Something that feels quite catastrophic. And it can be just like a tsunami. The water rushes in and it pulls away everything. it just absolutely undiscriminately takes everything and throws it around and pulls it back out to sea. And you're left with the fragments of life, strewn about. And we're also left with a clarity that I don't know how else you could get it, because all of the tedium, the complexity, the little nuanced issues, none of that stuff matters at all. It's laughable, because you are in a place of survival. You're in a place of just trying to make it through your days somehow. And in the process that happens after everything has kind of been taken or destroyed, or however you want to look at it. I don't like the idea of it being taken, because that makes us a victim. And we can be victims, right? But to, I think, get into that mentality of victimhood can be even a longer, it's a longer path of just terrible. But yeah, when things are gone, they're gone. It's unrecognizable. I feel like that clarity, there's no other clarity like that. And this is when we make the decisions that are going to get us through it somehow, or, we just kind of get lost in the background noise of everything. It can be a very painful experience. It is. It is. And it's all relevant. This can be any kind of situation that feels destabilizing, disenfranchising, grief, and so on. But then there's a morning that comes. And it could take weeks, it could take months, it could take years. Years. Really. And I laugh because I know for myself, I think it was like maybe 3 years before I had this morning for myself. And you wake up and you think, gosh, it looks a little bit sunnier today. I might, go for a little walk before I go to work. I might get out there and plant those flowers that I picked up on a whim at the grocery store. I might take a little drive over to, the river, the lake, or whatever, and go look at it. Go sit on a bench and watch the water. Whatever it is. But there is a sense of the beginnings of like a knot being untied. It's loosening on your heart just a little bit. And I think that this is where we're at. We're in this place where, like I said, planting flowers, smelling the roses, feeling something again. Knowing that, listen, it will always hurt on some level. The loss does not go away. but today I'm doing okay. Today I'm going to really take care of myself because I deserve it. I deserve to be taken care of. And that's powerful. That's so powerful. It's like breathing. This is the other thing I think of it like, right? Let me just tell you one short little one. For me, it's like I love the summer where I live. It's very humid and it's very lush because it is humid. And then we have our first cold night, right? In like, late September. You can smell the leaves just really starting to turn, okay? And you go outside and you breathe it in and it feels like, oh, autumn. I can breathe again for the first time. I've been holding my breath, it almost feels like, for months. I've been so busy. And where I'm from, we have long winters. So you make the most of those summers. You do as much as you can. And yeah, you just don't stop. It feels like you're just going, going, going. And so, yeah, that first breath where it's like, okay, I can breathe again. Yeah, this is it. I can do this. And that's what it feels like here. Now, in this time, I also see, and we have a person here holding a fish. There is abundance, okay? And this is also it's going to be within resources, I think. And this is, oh gosh, it kind of looks like this head. If you can see, oh, nope, no booty on the screen. Okay, if you can, just a second here. Come on. You gotta go. I love you. Go on. Go find Daddy. He's in bed. Go tell him to put you in bed with him. Okay, so we have this one here holding this. It looks like a fish to me. I'm going to read it as a fish, but it also reminds me of, and it's so funny when they kind of mirror each other. We have the Queen of Swords holding the mask or head, right? And so this is the truth bringer. You cannot lie to this lady. She absolutely is not buying it. She's not buying it. But here I'm going to read this as a fish because it looks like it has the kind of little tail right there, flare. So yes, abundance. And down here we also have a large fish. And you can see the tail flare again. So, yeah, I think in this time, it's not only is you're, feeling a little bit more centered, heart open, eyes open, noticing even just a small amount of beauty in things, a little bit of hope, becoming excited about life and what's next. Well, I think that this is where you're going to find, a bit of a little jackpot there for you. This is going to be where things align and you're going to have some opportunity to be making some money. I think that there's definitely going to be a place where, maybe you get involved in like a small business or begin your own business. I maybe get into another position in your career field or, maybe making, some upward movement and getting a raise, going into some kind of, higher position or what have you. So I think that there's going to be a release of the anxieties of financial stuff because it feels like there is kind of that, but this is movement, and not just movement. I mean, this looks like it's going to work out in your favor greatly, okay? So stay optimistic. Please. Please do it. No, try. I would say try your best. That's all we can do. Now we have a 1. Honey, come on. Come on. Look down here. Okay, so we have a 1 and a 7 and a 1 and a 7. We have a TT. Come on, T. Come on, girl. You've been so good tonight. So we have a 1. We have 17, 17. Okay. So that's repeating. So it could be emphasizing. It could be actually that it's 17, 17. But we have, I'm so excited about this because I feel like it's really going to equal, and we have an equal sign. And I look over here, it almost has like a corn husk. And I think, this is going to be, and where I live, corn is big business. But yeah, it is a resource, right? It is a sign of having plenty, a lot of how am I trying to say this? A lot of material gain, okay, or at least enough, right? And so I also see we have a little smiley face. Okay, so as I'm saying this, I want to invite you to try maybe something interesting, a little bit of homework, and that is to go ahead and write yourself a little bit of a note or a letter. Maybe your hopes, dreams, some of your aspirations for this next year, how you're feeling in this moment. And I think that like sharing with yourself kind of, this is where I've been. This is what's been going on and how I perceive it. This is how I'm feeling. This is what I have done to get here to this point. These are the things that I hope to accomplish. These are the things that I dream of. And then tuck it away. Put it in an envelope, seal it up, and tuck it away in one of your drawers or your journal or whatever you have, or put it in your altar. I like to put my letters to myself on my altars, and then in the future, maybe at the end of the year or maybe a year from now, go ahead and open it up and read it. I think this is a really good practice to get into. It maybe sounds kind of like, ugh, that's annoying and kind of like, I don't know, like some kind of cliche thing or whatever, like a self-help thing. But listen, sometimes we just have to try the things, I'm a bit of a cynic, okay? Usually I try to be pretty positive. But yeah, I do. There are plenty of things I think, okay, this is silly. This is like, something like, you would read on like Buzzworthy or I don't know, whatever. And, but then I make that little bit of space. Give myself a little bit of latitude. Sometimes I have to force myself. And I've actually been pleasantly surprised at how useful some of the stuff is. The one thing that I used to think was so ridiculous was like laugh yoga or just implementing laughter in your life. Intentionally. And I thought, okay, that's ridiculous. Why would it just seems like a put on, right? But I really have found that when I indulge in things that make me laugh, and I laugh a lot, but really, really get me going. Just laughing from my core. And for me, it's like a lot of stand-up comedy and silly movies or whatever, books that are funny. Or my husband's very funny. And us together, we have good banter. But we, sitting and laughing a few times a week, it changes the whole perspective for me. I feel like even on the busiest weeks I'm just dragging, I'm so tired and I have so many things to complain about. If I take the time to laugh, to really physically laugh, and so many times I'm looking, we look at our phones, right, and we're like scrolling and we're like, oh, that's funny, but you don't actually laugh, right? It's kind of in your mind. But when you go through the physical act of laughing, it really does release chemicals in your body that are so beneficial. And I think the more you get in the habit of something like that, it really does become more and more helpful. It also becomes easier. It totally does. So, this writing a letter to yourself, kind of the same deal. And I promise you, I'm going to do it for myself. Maybe not tonight, but I will tomorrow. It's getting kind of late, but I will tomorrow. So I will join in this exercise for sure. Okay. This cat is a little baby. You're a little baby, you know that? Okay, let's see. Stop licking my face. TJ. You silly. I love you. Don't lick my face. Lick all the skin off of me. Ooh, just spilled some of this. Got a little bit of water on my foot. Okay, let's see. So, I almost feel like there is a kind of a male energy. And I feel like this is somebody who is like a peer, somebody you maybe work with, or in some kind of club, or you go to a gym that they go to, or something like this. And they just feel like a good potential for a friend. And I feel like this is somebody who you look forward to seeing them. And maybe you already have a friendship, but I think that in this time, there's been kind of more of a thinking of, oh yeah, maybe we'll explore like a deeper friendship, seeing each other more often, going and doing things outside of our normal, meeting places where we cross paths. And I think that is something that feels nice. Like, it doesn't feel like pressure. It just feels enjoyable. And so, I think that this maybe has the potential to be a really good companion, right? And so, yeah. If this relates to you, I'd like to hear about it. I love hearing about when you're like, oh yeah, I just started hanging out with this person, or whatever. I really do. I like to hear your stories. So are you done? So yes, please, if you feel comfortable, and no pressure here either, but please share. So anyways, let's see, where are we at? We're going to do our cards, our little divine doors. Oops, divine. Will you focus? Divine doors. Okay. Okay, and we'll stop where it feels right. Ooh, that one looks pretty. Look at that. I like that doorway, that archway. 3 of Cups. I pulled the 3 of Cups for myself yesterday. There we go. A toast to friendship in the afternoon sun. 3 of Cups in happiness. Oh, 3 cups. Oh, 3 cups in happiness. 3 cheers are done. Let's read it again. A toast to friendship in the afternoon sun. 3 cups and happiness. 3 cheers are done. Yes. Celebration is near. I love it. Yes. A coming together. Excellent. All right, T. What do you say? You want to do the outro? Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. All right. So, Aquarius, I want to tell you I love you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And if you have not subscribed, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And what else? Oh, if you want to leave a comment, which we were just talking about, please do. I read them all. They mean the world to me. I know that they mean the world to a lot of other people too. I see you all interacting in the comments and liking each other's things, and I love to see that kind of connection. So with that, I'll say I love you. Take care of yourself. I will talk to you in just a few days. Good night, good night, good night. TT, say good night.